Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Obviously, the Black Ops 6 hype train is sort of going full steam ahead, right? Ever since the Black Ops 6 Direct, and we got our first look at campaign, zombies, multiplayer, there's been a lot of excitement going around about the game. And for the most part, I would say rightfully so, right? They've had 4 years to develop this. It really truly seems like they took full advantage of that extended development time for this game. Campaign and the storyline and the lore there seems very much so up to standard with Treyarch games that recently had been very good in that specific area. The return to round-based zombies is obviously very exciting for those who much prefer that style of gameplay compared to maybe Outbreak or the more open world aspect that we had with Modern Warfare Zombies this year with Modern Warfare 3. And of course, a lot of cool innovations are coming to multiplayer as well. Things like Omni movement, the ability to customize your HUD, all the new gameplay that comes every single year with a new Call of Duty title, right? And while yes, there is a lot of potential with Black Ops 6 for sure, there is also some other major concerns that I think should be worth mentioning, because while I'm all for all the excitement and I myself am very much so looking forward to getting my hands on Black Ops 6 for the first time, there's a few things, some red flags if you will, that I am certainly still worried about despite some of the exciting stuff. But just from a standard look at Black Ops 6, yes, there rightfully so is a lot to be excited about. When you base off of the various different pieces of information that we've already learned about this game, and then also some of the rumors, it seems like, again, like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of potential for this game to be very good. Now, the key phrase I want to focus on there is the game has the potential to be great. But as we know, just because something looks awesome, just because it looks great, doesn't always mean it ends up being great. There certainly could be things that flop or go wrong that do, dwindle down what we want the game to be. And it's unfortunate if that's the case, but that's also reality. But when you look at things from the top down, one of the major rumors for Warzone this year with Black Ops 6 is the return of Verdansk, the most highly requested map to ever come back in Warzone, a fan favorite. Now, I don't ever think we're going to get that one-to-one experience of Warzone 1 back when the game first dropped. That was a very unique time across the world. It was also a very unique time in Call of Duty, and it was kind of its own thing that I don't think ever will fully be recaptured. However, bringing back Verdansk would generate a ton of hype, right? Rightfully so. The map was a ton of fun, and being able to revisit that would be absolutely awesome, especially with a lot of the quality of life updates and various upgrades that have happened to Warzone in the time since we last got to play on Verdansk. So on the Warzone side of things, a lot of potential there. Obviously, the significant movement updates with Omni movement, the ability to sprint, dive, slide, prone in any which direction. It's going to be very cool to actually see implemented into multiplayer, but also into Warzone as well, and really, extend that skill gap out a little bit. That's going to be a ton of fun. The UI updates reportedly happening to the COD HQ, going away from this horizontal-like menu that we've had for the past couple of years with MW2 and MW3. Kind of obnoxious to navigate, just annoying across the board. That being updated and that being changed around a little bit. The return to a more traditional prestige system where you can go through, actually reach prestige, reset your levels, and lock everything again, go through, earn it, go for prestige master upwards of 1,000 levels and unlock some exclusive rewards there. Actually giving more meaning to going through and paying attention to your level rather than just seeing the number go up and it not having any significance whatsoever like in multiplayer right now. All of this stuff combined, yeah, the game has potential. There is a lot to look forward to with Black Ops 6. Here, though, are a handful of things that I do think could, water down some of that stuff, bring it down some, and kind of overshadow it in some regards. First things first, the servers. We have talked about these time and time again over the past few years. Call of Duty servers are in desperate need for an upgrade. Gameplay now, where there is consistent packet loss or stuttering, or your ping is just outrageously high for no real reason. It is so frequent, it's so common that you spend a good chunk of your gaming session backing out of lobbies and trying to get into a new one where you don't have packet loss or your ping's not outrageous or you're rubber banding, right? And it doesn't matter how cool the gameplay is. If you have the best movement ever in Call of Duty, or you have the most fun 6v6 maps, or you bring back and create the best Warzone map ever, none of that matters if when you jump in, you can't actually play the game for what it's supposed to be because the servers can't perform up to standard. So the servers outright, major concern for me, probably the biggest concern I would say going into Black Ops 6, just because we've been very vocal, very loud about the concern for the servers in recent years, and not all that much has changed. Another big concern, the anti-cheat, the hackers. We've had Ricochet for several years now. It is an anti-cheat. I don't know if I'd put good as a preface to it, because there's still an outrageous amount of hacking and cheating going on in game with aimbot and wall hacks, unlock all tools, all sorts of stuff that does end up plaguing gameplay, ruining the experience for a ton of players. And a lot of the measures that Call of Duty has are not preventative, they're reactionary. If someone cheats, okay, they just ruined a game for several hours, they'll get banned afterwards when a million people report them. But that player, that cheater, never should have made it into games in the first place. The anti-cheat should have been good enough to detect them beforehand and boot them off the game and hardware ban them so that they can't just create a new account when they do end up getting banned and do it all over again. The anti-cheat needs serious improvements. Again, a topic that we've covered a ton in the past. Right alongside that, sort of piggybacking off the anti-cheat, is the spam report / the shadow ban system, where if someone doesn't like that you killed them, or you're just a better player, or they didn't like that you were talking trash, and then they ended up getting cooked and it looks bad for them, they report you, they tell their friends to report you, and those spam reports lead to innocent players getting shadow banned and then potentially getting stuck in a shadow ban loop. It is too easy to trigger some of these shadow ban effects on accounts that clearly didn't do anything wrong. Now, there are plenty of accounts that should be shadow banned because they're saying things they absolutely should not be saying. Their gameplay maybe is a little bit suspicious, but perhaps maybe they had, some extra information or something was going on there where it just looks suspicious and you thought that maybe they weren't legit. That happens. You're never going to be perfect on saying, hey, this guy's cheating and this guy's clearly not. The shadow ban and the spam report system is clearly flawed. It's been clearly flawed. Again, something that is drastically due for an update or an upgrade of some kind. This next one I fully anticipate will not change, but it's still going to be a concern because it is pretty unforgiving, and that is the skill-based matchmaking / engagement optimization matchmaking system that Call of Duty enforces in its games, where you pretty much have to sweat 24/7. There's not much room to play off meta. There's not much room to mess around. If you're a really good player, like a top, 1% player, and you have friends that aren't very good, and you try and party up with them, their experience is going to be diminished because you're going to get stuck in your lobbies playing super sweaty enemies. There's just not much of a casual sense to Call of Duty a lot of the time because of how strict and how overwhelming the skill-based matchmaking system is. I would love to see it adjusted in some way, shape, or form, toned down some. I really enjoy my time on X Defiant where I can just mess around and not have to worry about SBMM. I just don't anticipate that happening in Call of Duty because financially, from a business standpoint, they have no reason to change it. They are a top seller every month. They have hundreds of thousands of people playing their game every day, millions and millions of people playing their game every week and every month. They have no reason to change it. They're making boatloads of money. Why would you look at a system like that from a business standpoint and say, hey, we're making a ton of money. We're breaking sales records constantly. We're always a top played title every month on every platform. It seems like what we're doing is working, So from that standpoint, that's just why I don't expect anything to change there. And then again, sort of piggybacking off of that, another sort of red flag for me, the lack of crossplay options. Crossplay being forced in Call of Duty means that if you're on console and you don't want to play against PC players because of the heightened chance of running into a cheater, you're just kind of out of luck. You gotta hope that you don't end up running into a ton of PC players that might be cheating. And so not having the option to simply turn it off is definitely a big bummer in my opinion. I don't think there should be no crossplay by any means because that would probably kill off the PC community like what we saw back in COD before crossplay was introduced, but I do think there should be the option to, if you want to turn off crossplay, you could, or you could just have console only crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation. But then if you were just okay with playing whoever, maybe you have friends that are on PC, but then some are on Xbox, but then some are on PlayStation, you obviously would want to have it turned on so you could all play together. Like, there absolutely is a place for crossplay, but I do think there should be some options to go along with it for sure. That said, I'm still very much so anticipating Black Ops 6. I'm very excited for this game, Based off of what we've seen so far, trying to keep a level head and not go too into the hype, I think it, again, like the word that I've been using all video, has great potential across the board. Will that come to fruition? We'll have to wait and see, because a lot of these red flags for me are things that could diminish my overall experience, a decent amount. Let me know your thoughts and concerns though down in the comments below. Are there any things that I didn't talk about in this video that you're a little bit more worried about with this game, or are there additional things that you're really looking forward to? Would love to get your guys' feedback on that. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like. And of course, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you have not subscribed yet, be sure to hit that sub button on your way out to guarantee you're always up to date with everything going on in the world of Call of Duty. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.